There have been all these news articles lately calling the Sunday Assembly an atheist megachurch, and they're going around the country and they're forming all these big megachurches. And I can't believe they're using that particular phrase. I mean, I don't believe the Sunday Assembly is a church, even though I think a lot of websites, and I'll admit I've done this before myself, it's very easy to say atheist church because people want to click on that. And if you're a news organization and you want people to read your articles, that's an easy way to do it. But I was really surprised to hear them saying it's an atheist megachurch, because that has a real definition in the Christian world. So let's talk about why the Sunday Assembly is most definitely not an atheist megachurch. Number one, the size. If you look for the definition of a Christian megachurch, it's defined as a church with more than 2,000 members. Most of these Sunday assemblies have a couple dozen people attending, maybe a few hundred at some of the bigger locations. And for all we know, they're only coming once for the big inaugural event. They're not the ones who are going to stick around. So size alone, it's not even close to a megachurch. Number two, the staff. Actual Christian megachurches have staffs of many, many people who get paid, some of them very, very well. These Sunday Assembly congregations, they don't have staffs. They have a couple volunteers who are helping organize these events. And really, there are just the two people, Sanderson Jones, Pippa Evans, who kind of started the whole movement. They're now currently fundraising so they can try to pay themselves because they kind of stopped working so they can run this whole movement. And they're asking for a modest salary online. The two people running the entire worldwide network of congregations. And that's a word I don't even like to use either. But two people, that's it for the whole world. The churches in my community have more staffers than that, and they're smaller. Number three, money. A lot of Christian megachurches, at least some of the really, really big ones, they can make through the collection plate hundreds of thousands of dollars per week. Now, granted, those are the big churches, but again, they're making six figures every week at their church. How much is the atheist megachurch making? Maybe a couple hundred, and all of that money goes to cover the rent because you have to rent out space to have these gatherings. So no one's really cashing in on any of this. So there's another reason it's not a megachurch. Number four, they don't have cafes or bookstores or nurseries or holding cells for mothers with crying children, which I have seen at some of the Christian churches. They don't have all those extra things that might want to draw you in. All they have is the service itself. So Christian churches, they have all these accessories that make you want to be a part of it. The Sunday Assembly does not have that. Number five, the frequency of meetings. If you are a Christian megachurch, you have events going on all the time. You have like multiple sermons, multiple services on the weekends, and then you might have something in the middle of the week just for teens, and you might even have, women's groups and dads groups and everything meeting during the week. The atheist megachurch meets right now like once a month in some cities. That's it. And that's at best because they're just getting underway. They're trying to figure out how they can meet. So right now, at least in Chicago, where I'm from, we're trying to figure out how to meet once a month. And that's it. Number six, just the dogma. If you go to a Christian megachurch, you have to abide by their statement of faith. If they say, we believe Jesus was resurrected, we believe he's the Son of God, we believe the Bible is the Word of God, etc., you have to adhere to that. And if you go to a megachurch like Mars Hill, like Mark Driscoll's church in Seattle, you don't just have to abide by those rules, you have to abide by the church's law. And you can't talk smack about the church and things like that. And by the way, the atheist megachurch has no such dogma. You don't even have to be an atheist to go to the atheist megachurch. There's no dogma you have to adhere to. It's all about living a better life. That's what the founders intended it to be. So if you just want to live a better life, go to a gathering. Number seven is what they preach at these places. At a Christian megachurch, they are preaching Christianity. They are preaching the Word of God. They are preaching maybe even social issues, anti-gay marriage, anti-women's rights in regards to abortion, things like that. At the atheist megachurches, at the Sunday assemblies, they are not preaching atheism. In fact, I was a speaker at the service in Chicago, at our first one, and they specifically said, we don't really want you to talk about atheism. Talk about how it feels to ask questions and wonder, because wonder is an inspiring sort of thing, and wondering about the life we have and the world we live in, and asking questions. That's what they wanted me to talk about. That, to me, is not something only atheists do. That's something that is just humanity in general. So there is no specific dogma you have to adhere to be a part of a Sunday assembly. Number 8, for a Christian megachurch, you're kind of expected to be a part of it. You're expected to go every week. You're expected to tithe every week. At the Sunday assembly, you don't even have to go. Like, no one's keeping tabs on you like that. We hope you come. We hope you like it. And if you don't, okay, like, you're not a bad atheist for not going. It's just one of those things right now where it's like, hey, come and join us if you want to. I don't know a lot of Christian churches that are like, yeah, just come when you want to. We're not gonna keep you on our rolls somewhere. No, they keep tabs on you at the Christian churches. We're not keeping tabs on you at the Sunday assemblies. Number 9 is a constant insult that I've kind of heard thrown at the way of the Sunday assembly, which is that it's too much like religion. And that one makes no sense to me at all, because if you press people on that, why do you think the Sunday assembly is a religion? They will say things like, oh, well, you're gathering as one, and you're singing these songs, and you're listening to a sermon and inspiring words. Guess what? Churches don't have a monopoly on those things. Like, listening to someone say something cool, you can do that by watching a TED Talk, or you can go to a Sunday assembly and hear someone say something inspiring in person. If you like to sing, great. You don't have to be religious to like to sing, and you don't have to be religious to gather with strangers whom you share a common bond with. We do it at sporting events all the time, and there's no reason we can't do it just to celebrate life. So to me, this idea that it's a religion, that's ridiculous. You know, I heard one of the founders, Sanderson, put it this way: if you have a shoe with a rock in it, it's really painful to walk on. So if you have one bad thing about that shoe, what do? You chuck the rock. You don't get rid of the whole shoe. You get rid of the part you don't like. And that's what I think they've done with these assemblies. They've taken out the God part of it and left all those other aspects to it. So if you're one of those people who used to go to church, but you don't believe in God anymore, I've heard a lot of atheists tell me, they kind of miss church. They miss a lot of aspects of church, but they just don't buy into the religious aspect of it. Well, then the Sunday assembly is perfect for you, because you could do a lot of the things that you liked about church without having to subscribe to all these beliefs that you think are nonsense. So overall, look, the Sunday assemblies are not atheist megachurches. They're not even atheist churches. The only people who are calling them atheist churches, and sadly I will raise my hand as someone who has done that, is because it just grabs people's attention. And if you're trying to describe people who get together and celebrate life and maybe sing a song or two, it turns out there's not a lot of good words to describe that. So church is kind of an easy, lazy go-to word. But it's not like a church. It's better than a church. It's a church that makes you think for yourself. So it's definitely not like a Christian megachurch. So look, if you don't like it, fine, I don't really care. But if you do, if you think that's the sort of thing that might appeal to you, go check it out. And you know what? If you don't like it, if you are someone who doesn't like the Sunday assembly, and I'm sure you're going to make your voices heard in the comments, tell us what exactly it is that you don't like, because I have yet to find someone who has gone to a Sunday assembly who has said, this is awful. At worst, you'll say, this is nice, but it's not for me. And I would totally accept that. But I would like to hear from people who have gone to these gatherings and said, you know what? No, this is a bad idea, because that has not happened yet. The only people complaining about it within the atheist community are the atheists who haven't experienced it yet. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write for friendlyatheist.com. Please leave your questions and comments below, and we will check them out.